All right, welcome to the most boring game of ping pong you've ever seen. So what we're gonna do, we've done a lot of like stationary drawings and stuff, but that's really not that exciting. We want to make things move based on the keyboard. So I'm gonna show you how to make a very boring ping pong or pong game where each paddle goes on each side and we'll have different controls. We're not going to worry about the ball too much because we're not quite there. It's actually quite difficult to make things rebound off each other. But let's just get things moving to when we want. So to start, we just got that normal function setup, function draw. And let's start off with the left ping pong table. Paddle. Okay, so we're going to look, put some comments here. So let's just left, Pong, paddle. First, I want that Pong, if you've never seen it before, it's usually a rectangle. So I'm just going to make a rectangle at 0. Now, I want the height to be able to be changed or moved. So I'm going to actually make that into a variable. I'm going to call that PY. I decided just for Pong height. So the Pong paddle height. And to start, what should we let that be? Let's let it be 0. So it's going to be right at the top to start the game. Okay, and then the rest of it. Now my size, it doesn't really matter what size you pick. I'm going to pick 10, 40. And let's just see how that looks. Okay, so we've got a little rectangle here, and the goal is to make it move up and down. Now before we do anything, then we need to know, what do I have to actually type in to make it go up and down based off of my arrows? So I'm going to print that out in the console. So I'm going to print the key code. Now you could look these up, but then you're going to keep on looking at tables. It's very simple. Okay, so right now I haven't hit anything. It's saying 0 in the bottom left. So if I hit down, it says 40. Okay, so if I hit up, it's going to be 38. Okay, so that's how, so we'll do down first. So we're going to just stop this. So it kind of holds that. Okay, so that means I'm going to do if. Now, this is a different one we haven't used yet. If key is down. And then we have to put what key number. So we said that it was 40. So we type that in there. And we're going to see something a little different. We want, if the key is down, and we don't want that to go too far. So actually, hold on. You know what? We're not going to do that yet. We'll just hold off on that. Sorry. Okay, and then now what do we want to happen if that's true? Well, we want the height to go down. So that's our PY. So PY minus 5. I could put minus 1. Depends how fast you want it to move. Okay, let's just make sure it's working. So now if I hit down, goes the other direction. I must put the wrong key code in. Oh, sorry. No, this is supposed to be the other way. We want the height. There we go. Perfect. So I'm hitting the key down and okay, we got a problem. So let's try to make it go back up then. So we need a second if statement. So this one will say if key is, that's a small k, key is down. And that key, I believe, was 38 on the key code when we were doing it. Double brackets. And what do we want to happen if that key is down? Well, it's going to be the opposite. We want our variable to be smaller, get smaller. So minus 5. And let's just make sure that's working. So now this is the down arrow, up arrow. Hey, perfect. Now it would be nice though, is we want to have a limitation here. We want to have like a boundary. We don't want it to be able to go past that. So we have to actually use an end statement. So we have to have two conditions for both of these. So the first one is we'll do the key is down first. So pressing down. So if we're pressing the bottom arrow down, and so we've got to put 2 of these in there. And a second condition is that this value, the value of PY, is actually, we'll do a different value. Let's do is greater than 10. And we'll see what's going to happen here. So, it's not going to work. Let's do key is, because I'm trying to give you an example of where it'll work, but it's not. Okay, so now you can see though, I can't make it come back down anymore. So once it leaves the screen, but that's actually not what we want. So in the down arrow, we want to use this one as our focus. So P, I think, let's go look at the screen. The canvas is 400. So let's just do 200 to see what will happen there. There we go. Click on the thing. Come on. P is less than 200. Okay, oh, it stops right there. So this point must be the line where 200 is, and it's the top left actually. Okay, so what we want is this bottom. So if we go to 400, click on the screen. Okay, we go down. So actually you can just barely see the rectangle there. Okay, so well, now we have to look at the height of this rectangle. We said it's a height of 40. So this is actually going to be 360. So if I go down, there we go. See, I made it moved up the line 40 up. Okay, so let's go the other direction then. So we're pressing up arrow. We're on a second condition, and this time it's if py is greater than 0. So now, yeah, it stops right there. And the reason we can put 0 for this one is it measures off that top left corner. So now we have a paddle going up and down. Now that's a pretty boring game of Pong. So we should make a second paddle then. Now I'm going to do that using different buttons then. Let's use right Pong paddle. And again, we should be commenting what is this stuff. So again, we're going to make a rectangle. And that rectangle is going to be, so I'm just going to look. So we want it to be over here. So that's about 400. But we got to remember there's some width to that. If I put 400, it's going to be kind of off the screen a bit. So I'm going to put 390 actually as my X location. And I want my P. So I need another variable for the height. If I was to put PY here, they'd both be going up. And well, here, let's see what that looks like. And then I'll put the dimensions the same. Could make an easy one, hard one. So because they're the same, they actually follow that same py value. But I don't want that. I want this to have its own paddle 2 y. Probably could name that better. That's okay. So paddle 2 y is equal to 0 as well. And then now we have to do all of the same things again. So I'm just going to copy all of this if statements. So the only difference is instead of this being, so first of all, we got to choose what keys we want. I think for a second person, we're going to use W and S. So it's a little bit angry, unexpected output, and oh yes, I didn't copy the second one. There we go. Okay, so if I'm clicking S, it's 83, and I'm clicking W, it's 87. Okay, so let's stop that. So if key is down, so I want to go down first. So that's going to be my S, and I said that was 83. And here, okay, so for this one, we have to also change this to paddle 2y. That's our second condition. So now this variable is getting checked still against that 360. And so if those things are true, so if you hit down using the S key, then you're going to be paddle 2y is going to actually get bigger. So paddle 2y. So let's just see if that works. It should work independently. So if I click the down arrow, only the left one should go. If I hit the S arrow, the right one should go. But right now I have no way. W doesn't work because that's key 87. So let's go to key. So this is our going up then. So key 87. And instead it's got to be, okay, so key, the W is pressed down and P2Y is greater than 0, meaning our height isn't above the canvas. And that means we want this to go down, that variable, P2Y. All right, so they now are working independently, and now you could actually play a game of Pong. Now, we could put a little ball there. We're not going to make a move. I'll let you try to figure that one out on your own. Ball. So you could have fill on that of 255. And I'll use the ellipse function. And we'll make that ball start kind of in the middle-ish. All right, perfect. Now we can play Pong. You can pretend you're back in the late 80s without a moving ball. Perfect. Now, if you have any questions on how any of this was done, or if you can't get your code working, just let me know. I'm actually not going to edit this video, so I could make it look like I did it perfectly the first time, but I don't want to. I want you to see the little mistakes that I was making and when I was messing around with the inequalities and how that was getting played around, because I think that's where you're going to have trouble. And so this is going to be the part right here where you're going to have trouble. And if you do, just let me know. You can send me like a little picture of your code, anything. Just let me know. All right, have a good day.